Hey everybody, Sly here, and today I'm going to be doing another reaction once again, and this is from All Top 5 once again. This one is titled 5 Most Haunted Objects. Now, if you see some of the movies that involves with an object like a doll or like a toy figure or whatever that use as a haunted object, well, we're going to see what kind of haunted object that there are in the world. So let's react. Here we go again.
Hello and welcome to All Top 5s. It's not just houses or buildings that can be haunted. Around the world you can find stories about objects possessed or haunted by a spirit or demon.
Yeah.
And many tales of what happened to the unfortunate owners or recipients of the object in question. Here are 5 of the most interesting supposedly haunted objects that I can find information about. Please note, I'm not featuring.
What did I say in the beginning of the video?
That will be its own separate video.
Boxes or toys and dolls. Here we go.
Number 5, the Hands Resist Him painting.
The hands resistant painting.
Controversial one. There's a lot of argument over whether this is cursed or not, but I like the painting and the story behind it, so here it is.
Here we go.
You decide. In 1972, Bill Stoneham painted this creepy piece showing a boy and a girl doll standing before a dark glass-paneled door with seemingly disembodied hands pressed up against it. The creepy nature of the painting is enough to spook me anyway, but there's a bit of a backstory that makes it even scarier. The actor John Marley bought the painting soon after its creation, and after his death, the story goes that an elderly American couple found it in an old brewery. In early 2000, the painting appeared on eBay with the alleged backstory.
$700 for the painting?
The main theme of this was that
the hand resist him.
The seller claimed the subjects in the painting, mainly the boy and the doll, would move around at night.
I wonder if it's still there to this day.
The characters would
Probably not.
occasionally leave the painting and enter the room in which the painting was housed. There was one incident that was allegedly caught on webcam where the doll pointed a gun at the boy and he
Oh my god, yeah, I can see that.
This obviously went viral very quickly.
Oh my god.
The painting began on eBay at $199 but ended up at $1,025 after 30 bids. The original artist, Bill Stoneham, was contacted by the auction winner, a Michigan art gallery, who told him about the story and the curse. Apparently he was surprised and he had no knowledge of curses or hauntings while he was painting the piece. Indeed, he commented that the item the doll is holding is simply a battery and some wiring, quite clear when you look at it, and he based it on a photo of himself as a young child. Bill did admit that when it was first displayed in the 1970s, the gallery owner and an art critic who reviewed it both died less than a year later.
Oh wow.
What do you think though? Coincidence or curse?
I was like coincidence.
Number 4, Dead Man's Chair.
Dead Man's Chair.
Known as the Busby Stoop Chair, this old chair made of
I think I heard about this before, but I could be wrong.
Who owned it, Thomas Busby. A well-known gambler and drunkard, Thomas Busby led a scoundrel's life in Yorkshire, England, until 1702 when he murdered his father-in-law. We don't know the full story of why he did this, but he was arrested for his crime, and during his trial he was sentenced to be hanged as punishment. His dead body was displayed on a gibbet by a crossroads.
And they would use the chair and then knock the chair over.
Before it closed in 2012. The inn was named after the stoop he was hung from.
And that's why it's got the name.
Haunted by the ghost of Thomas Busby, but one particular chair in the inn became feared by its patrons. During the war, pilots who were in the area deemed the chair unlucky, though we don't know for what reason, and by the 1970s there were some accidents, mostly fatal, that were linked to the chair as well. The landlord of the inn became so concerned that he requested that a local museum, the Thirsk Museum in Yorkshire, take the chair from the inn. In 1978, the museum agreed and has displayed the supposedly cursed chair ever since. This chair, termed the Dead Man's Chair as well, was hung on a wall to prevent anyone.
Can you imagine that chair moved?
Perhaps preventing Thomas Busby's ghost from claiming any more victims.
Wow. Okay.
Number 3, the Crying Boy painting.
The Crying Boy painting.
Scary painting.
Here we go.
Painted by the Italian Bruno Amadio, who was sometimes known as Giovanni Bragolin, this portrait of a crying boy was one of several variations on the same theme. In the 1950s and onwards, quite a few were printed and distributed around the UK. Not always known as the most reliable source, but a source
is it going to be the one that it looks like?
In 1985 in the British newspaper The Sun that the painting was jinxed. Apparently, a fireman was
Blazing
interviewed
curse of the
saying that
crying
amongst
boy.
the burned ruins of houses that he had visited that had caught fire, he and his fire crew would often find an undamaged copy of the painting. This happened frequently, and the Sun and other tabloid newspapers began to report on other houses with the same occurrence.
And I bet you that
Within 2
painting is
months,
still...
so many people knew about the supposedly haunted painting that bonfires were being organized to destroy people's copies of it.
Oh my god,
No
there's
one
so
knows
many
why this
copies of
painting
the
would be
crying boy.
haunted, but a British radio production did a little research into it and tested it in house fire situations. It was discovered that each painting's print was varnished with a fire-repelling substance, meaning that it would be protected for a time. The string that held the picture to the wall would burn first, causing it to fall face down on the floor, so it would remain protected throughout the blazing fire. This is a good point, but it's not entirely convincing, however.
Well,
and
yeah.
It didn't explain why it only seemed to be this painting that always survived each fire, when no others did. Who knows who or what, if anything, haunts this painting? The picture itself certainly makes me quite uncomfortable anyway.
Huh. Interesting.
Number 2. The Hope Diamond.
The Hope
Once
Diamond.
the most famous diamond in the world.
Oh,
the
it's almost
Hope
looked like from
Diamond is owned by the
Titanic.
Smithsonian Museum and kept on display at the Natural History Museum in Washington, D.C. in the USA.
It's a good looking
Worth
diamond,
around
that's for sure.
$250,000, it's also famously rumored to be cursed or haunted, with a lot of controversy surrounding this claim. The reputation of the Hope Diamond is that it brings bad luck and tragic death to its owner, or wearer.
Ah.
One story goes that the diamond's origin was actually stolen from the eye socket of a Hindu goddess,
Ah,
and the angry
okay.
goddess herself cursed the stolen object to affect the fate of anyone
If you
who crossed
stole
its
that
path.
diamond,
It kind of
you'll be
reminds me a bit of
cursed.
the curse of the
You
tomb
cannot
of
take something that is
Tutankhamun,
not
which is also
belong-
likely a
that's belonged to
fabricated,
you.
exaggerated account. In the early 1900s, a Washington Post article, followed by several others including the New York Times, began describing the curse, where it came from, and a list of alleged owners who had tragic and unfortunate deaths after becoming the owner of the sinister jewel, or wearing it. One committed suicide, one was killed by Russian revolutionists, one was murdered by her lover, one was thrown with his family to their deaths from a high place, one was imprisoned and tortured, one was hanged by a mob, another was hanged, there was one torn apart by
Oh my
wild
God.
dogs, one was jilted, one died a ruined man, one was ripped apart by a mob, one thief committed suicide, and another died miserable and alone.
Wow.
Quite the list of tragedies, but it's a bit vague in terms of reliability. There were even people who sued the seller of the Hope Diamond, claiming its malevolent influence caused them terribly bad luck. However, there's a lot of counter-argument saying that these stories were cleverly made up to increase the value of the diamond, along with gaining a lot of press in the newspapers and the talk of the people. Certainly, since it's been owned by the Smithsonian since 1958, nothing but good luck has come to the museum. Or is the diamond just biding its time to bring terrible financial ruin upon the institution or its employees? Hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Number 1. The Dybbuk Box.
The
This
Dybbuk
one really
box.
scares me, and that's why I've chosen it for my number 1. The Dybbuk Box is a wine cabinet which is claimed to be
Now,
haunted
I
by a
heard
malevolent
about
spirit capable of
something like that
haunting
from a
and
movie
possessing
that's
people
based
who
on
come
true
into
story.
contact with the box. In Judaism, this evil spirit is restless and known as a Dybbuk.
Dybbuk.
In the 2000s, Kevin Manis put a wine cabinet up for auction on eBay and described its terrifying history in full.
Why would you sell
Kevin
a
used to
box like
collect
that
antiques to
that's
refurbish
haunted?
and sell on for a profit, and acquired this box in 2003. Apparently, the box had belonged to Havela, a Polish survivor of the Holocaust, who had bought the box in Spain and
There was a
moved to the
movie
USA,
based
and her
on that.
granddaughter was the one
Forget
who
what
sold
movie
to
was it.
Kevin, letting him know its
I watched it
origins,
before,
and
it
saying
was
that her
so
family didn't
freaking
want it,
scary.
even though it was an heirloom. She told him that a Dybbuk lived inside it, so it was never opened, and it was always kept safe in her grandmother's sewing room. Despite this chilling warning, Kevin opened the box and found inside it 2 coins from the 1920s, a lock of blonde hair and a lock of brown hair, a tiny statue with the Hebrew word shalom engraved upon it, a golden wine goblet, a rosebud, and a sculpted candle.
Probably her
Eerie things
remains
to
and
find,
stuff like that.
especially the locks of hair. After opening it, Kevin began to have terrifying nightmares. The scary
Kinda like
thing
a
about
voodoo
this
doll,
is that
but-
anyone staying
oh,
in his house
that's a
or in
scary
possession
looking
of the box
image.
had the same nightmares as he did. These nightmares were reported to involve an old hag. Anyone who examined the box claimed that there was a strong smell of cat urine too. The final straw for Kevin was that apparently when he gave his mother the box as a birthday present, I'm not sure why, but she had a stroke that same day.
Oh.
One student from Missouri bought the box after Kevin, only to sell it on again after his hair fell out and all the lights in his house burned out. He wrote blogs about this cabinet, and eventually Jason Haxton, a museum director, bought it from him and studied it. Jason wrote a book about his experiences called The Dybbuk Box, wherein he describes developing hives, coughing up blood, and strange welts all over his body soon after purchasing the box. He called upon Jewish rabbis to help him seal the box again and contain the Dybbuk once and for all.
And I bet you they wouldn't help him.
This ceremony was apparently successful, and Jason hid the box away for good, never to reveal its location. This was the premise for the 2012 Sam Raimi
That's
film,
the movie, The Possession.
The experiences suffered by those who owned the Dybbuk box have never had a rational explanation given other than coincidence.
Yeah, that movie is sick.
Do definitely happen, but could it have been an evil demon residing inside, causing pain and misery to those it haunted?
Well, I would say so.
Top 5s for this week.
So yeah, I was trying to figure out what movie was it, and it was Possession.
Including the very famous
was this Demon Possession? Yeah, speaking of Possession.
And they're seriously scary. What do you think about the 5 that I've talked about in this video? Any truth?
Very interesting.
Remember when you're discussing this in the comments below, just to be polite and respectful of other people's opinions and beliefs. Let's all get along. If you enjoyed this video, please give it the thumbs up, the like button on YouTube, because that does help me out and it means other people can find the videos as well. If you haven't already, you can subscribe, and I will be delivering a new video every single Tuesday for you. So, be good to people, peace and love to each and every one of you, and I'll see you all next time on All Top 5s.
Wow. That is just wow. Seriously, like, this is exactly why, like, you cannot mess with stuff like that. Especially, not only houses are haunted, but also objects, you know. Like the number one, and I knew the box is from the movie Possession, and the box is nothing to be messing around with, and then dolls and whatnot, but especially paintings, like the 2 paintings that we've seen, it's just either is a coincidence or just cursed. But wow, that is it creeps me out sometimes. But anyways, if you guys and girls enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you want more videos like this, hit the subscribe button for more videos, and don't forget to hit the notification bell for more videos to come. So, that's all the time I have of this video. My name is Sly, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed me reacting to the old top 5's 5 most haunted objects. And until next time, sleep tight.